Hey guys, welcome back to the Own Your Voice pod. Now, I want to start off this podcast with these questions and just be honest as you can. Have you ever just didn't feel like speaking up because there's just so much on your mind? Or you're going through a really stressful season and you just don't feel like using your voice? Now, today's episode is about how to own your voice even when you're stressed. I received this podcast episode suggestion on Instagram and it's so timely because I've been working through some stresses in this season. For the past week, I've been going through some tough life challenges and decisions, right? There was one day where I cried 3 times speaking to 3 different friends, and I remember I went home with this like huge, massive headache at the back of my head because I was crying so much. And so this entire week, I didn't feel like spontaneously, taking out my phone and showing up my face on social media. I didn't feel as excited to use my voice. And I think it's completely normal. Dealing with the ups and downs is all part of life. Owning your voice is down to how you handle those ups and downs. And there were plenty of times I've had really stressful seasons. Like, if you've been following me on Instagram for a while, you know that there was one time in 2019 where I had a full blown eczema outbreak when I was making really tough business decisions, over the past 2 years. And what has really helped me own my voice, no matter how tough life is really these 3 points, these 3 tips that I'll be sharing in this episode. And I hope that you can take it back so that you can own your voice in any season. The first point is this: owning your voice doesn't have to look like what it was to you before the stressful season. When I was really high on life, like for example, when I was traveling around Bali in July, right, or Thailand in August, it's so easy to show up on camera with confidence because, like, I'm in that happy high on life season. Owning my voice was using social media as a stage to share ideas and stories that I believe empowered you guys, that I believe empowered my audience to live lives of their own design. And it was really easy for me to just take up my phone, feel inspired, and use that inspiration to drive me to just take that impromptu video. But when I'm in this stressful season, owning my voice happens off screen. It is the inner work. It is, journaling over here. It is leaning on support from loved ones, from my friends, from my partner. It is spending time alone in nature. It is speaking to God, right? It is using my voice, but in healing and in understanding what exactly is happening, healing that relationship with myself. I do the bare minimum to serve and keep business going, right? And bare minimum really means doing less, but with excellence, because you can't like not show up at work, right? I mean, for you guys who work in a job or who run a business, there are times that you need to show up even if you're stressed. So for the past week, I've been going through some really tough life challenges and decisions. And I've had one day I mentioned where I cried 3 times speaking to 3 different people, and I was like having a headache by the time I went back because I was crying so much. And I was processing my thoughts and getting a whole lot of love from my friends. A close friend of mine actually said that tears, pain, discomfort is a sign of your limiting beliefs breaking down. And I had plenty of that last week. But what I did to still show up to serve my audience was I show up as my best self during coaching sessions, and I recorded my podcast and filmed content. But what I did not do is I wasn't doing as much impromptu videos. I wasn't showing up with my face on Instagram stories as often, right? I typed more of my content out. And I said no to some social meeting requests and scheduled them on a later date. Similarly, in your case, being stressed doesn't mean you can just bail on work or on your business. Life just goes on. You can say no or reschedule what you can reschedule and do your best to continue what you have to do. It's important to build a relationship with your voice. And in every relationship, there will be ups and downs. In every relationship, there will be times that you're so in love with the person, and there are times that you just feel so frustrated and you don't understand what that person is doing. And regardless of the season, the way to develop a long lasting, healthy relationship is through understanding. just like you aim to understand the other party in a relationship through conversation and giving them the space and time they need to tell you what's on their mind, you need to do the same for your voice. When you're in a stressful season, you need to have that conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, what do I really need right now to take care of my voice? What do I need now to feel seen, heard, and understood? What can I do for myself so that I feel loved? That's how you take care of your voice. That's how you own your voice, even during a stressful season. A huge part of owning your voice is owning your life, and that includes giving yourself what you need when you need it. All right, point number 2 for owning your voice even when you're stressed is to remind yourself that you have a voice that you're proud of. When you're feeling really, really low, you may tend to start feeling like you don't want to use your voice. And this happens for me as well. I don't feel as motivated to use my voice on camera or on stage. What I do is to then look at photos in my photo album of me speaking and doing what I love. I look back at photos of me owning my voice, and that makes me feel happy and makes me feel so fulfilled because it reminds me that, hey, oh my goodness, I actually use my voice in a way that I love. I actually can use my voice. I actually have a voice that I'm proud of. What I do is I also keep a gratitude album. It sounds kind of fancy, but really it is a folder in my phone that has a little photo album, and it keeps all the screenshots of all the nice stuff that people said about me that makes me feel super good about myself. So there are client testimonials, direct messages I received, and you can create your own gratitude album too. What are the times that you receive good comments from your boss or your manager after doing a presentation? Or have you ever received a thank you message from a friend saying, thank you so much for being there for me? Those were the times where you used your voice in a way that served others. And probably those were the times that you feel proud of your voice. Looking back at those photos make me feel so happy and so grateful for my voice. And I realize that I have a voice that I'm proud of. This reminds me that I'm not defined by my stresses, my low moments. I'm not even defined by my successes. I am human, and the ups and downs are all part of life. And this brings me to a state of gratitude. I'm reminded that I have the privilege to experience all of life. So these are some questions you can ask yourself. When have you used your voice in the past that has brought you so much joy and fulfillment? When have you helped someone because you used your voice? And when was a time that you were so deeply proud of your voice? These 3 questions can help you get to that state of gratitude and remember that you have a voice that you're proud of. And as you're answering these questions and visualizing the moments in your heart, remind yourself of how proud you are of your voice. And this will give you the hope to tide through this stressful period and be kind to yourself. And lastly, point 3, have the courage to listen to your voice, even when it's hard. It's easy to listen to your voice when you're really happy, when your thoughts are really great and it's telling you all this good stuff about yourself. It's not the easiest when you're having a million voices echoing in your mind as you are stressed. You may be tempted to block out these thoughts, but the reality is this: these voices will echo incessantly until you listen to them and process what is happening. Owning your voice is having the courage to listen to these thoughts and take ownership of building that relationship with your voice. That is because your thoughts do influence your words and your actions. So do the inner work, do those journaling that you do, process your thoughts. Having those conversations with yourself is owning your voice. All of this happens behind the scene. It's okay not to use your voice in public for a while. Because remember this, owning your voice in private is key to owning your voice in public. You have to own your voice in private before you can own your voice in public and speak with confidence. When it is a stressful period, carve out time for yourself to journal and to really have conversations with yourself. Ask yourself, how am I feeling now? What is it that's creating the stress? And really just sort out your thoughts. Maybe speak to a friend if you need to. You can also be around friends and share with them what's on your mind. Some of us benefit immensely by having friends as a soundboard or having a shoulder to lean on. You may not have a solution to this stress, but at the very least, you're listening to your voice, not ignoring it. And in summary, point one, owning your voice does not have to look like how it was to you before the stressful season. Number two, remind yourself that you have a voice you're proud of by using a gratitude album. And last but not least, number three, have the courage to listen to your voice, even when it's hard. Now remember, owning your voice is a lifelong journey. It requires you to build a relationship with your voice, journeying with it through the highs and the lows. Create time and space to have conversations with yourself. Listen to your thoughts. Get to know your voice. Learn how to love your voice and have its back. Now, if you found this helpful, do share it on social media or personally to friends that you feel really need this, especially if they're going through a stressful period, because I want to help as many people own your voice as possible. And with that, I'll see you on the next episode. Go and own your voice. Bye.